Hello YouTube, this is Mickey D with episode 59 of Stationeers. Hey MacGyver, this old moon base, that's funny. Oh, how's everybody doing today? And we are, of course, still in the beta branch. There's been a few updates, nothing overly major. They did change the model in the passive vent. If you notice, the back's a little bit different. It's not like, rounded like it was. So overall, not a really big change. But and they did some stuff on the terrain. Supposedly makes it generate a little bit smoother, and hopefully, I guess, help keep stuff falling through. And the game actually seems to be running a little bit smoother too. But I did not do. This pretty much picks up right where the last episode left off. Um, I ended up. I was planning on streaming. Was it yesterday? And basically, I ended up. My cold was kicking my butt, so I ended up not going to work and basically sleeping most of the day. And yeah, so um, and anyway, so we're picking up right where we left off. And I was gonna go mine and refine some materials, and then I kind of realized our furnace isn't really hooked up. So we probably could try to refine some stuff, but I could see it also going horribly wrong. Building up some gases and whatnot and making things explode. So I want to get the radiators hooked back up. We definitely have enough materials to get everything hooked back up. We just don't have enough steel to re-enclose the base. So we're gonna pretty much kind of pick up where we left off at. And I'm just going to put this away because actually I'm not, because we might actually need that. And I do believe, and that's what we've got some steel, so we'll need to close some stuff up. But we do need to get a radiator up and going again, and we need to kind of reconnect these lines. And as you can see, oh, and I just fell through the floor. Everything did empty out of the tank, so it's all been processed. If I can actually read the tank. So everything's been processed, which is actually showing really low on that for some reason. Might be because of the temperature. We should have quite a bit more than 571 kp. But I think it's H2O. Yeah, it's just because the tanks are so much bigger. So yeah, because this was 20 something MPa, and now it's showing us 6. I did realize there was one thing that we didn't quite set up with this, and I'm not sure if I want to now or if maybe we'll just add it in later. We didn't put the back pressure regulator on and the pressure regulator to let it basically store everything in here and then set an amount that we want to come out, so we don't because we don't want the lines going too high. But I don't think we have to worry about that anytime soon, since these tanks are so much larger. It'll take a lot. We'll have to have a lot more material to get up to the higher pressures now. Anyway, so we'll get going on things. I'm just going to go around real quick and try to remember what everything is that's coming through here. So this is this line, and this was the start of our filtration system, so we actually don't even need that line there anymore. We can remove that, ignore that. This is the line coming in that the furnace ties into, and should be this line on the bottom right here. The top two are left over, so this is our intake line, which we need to run back over that way. And I think we'll wrap it around the outside of this building, so we can continue on with having the radiators along it to give us some additional cooling. And we're going to have to grind this down so we can get to that pipe. There we go. So we'll just reroute this to run on the outside. just put that back. And then we can continue on. There was there's another mod that came out that I was kind of looking at. Actually, I believe oh, that's kind of weird. I was kind of bouncing. Oh, I must have been hitting that. I kind of just dropped all the radiators off since we kind of have to put them all back. You can kind of see I did throw these blocks on off camera, and I did let the base idle a little bit just to let it sort everything in the tanks. So I guess I kind of did a little bit off camera, but that was about it. Yeah, so there was a mod that came out that nothing spectacular. It basically rebalances the ores since you know, like iron is really common, coal is really common. Ooh. Oh, atmospherics is crashing again. How very nice. And it basically makes all the ores have the same, you know, ratio. It basically sets them all to the same ratio. So basically, they all have the basically makes the harder ores easier to find. I figured I'd check it out. And in conjunction with that, the author actually has another mod out that makes the mining go faster. So you still have to go find everything. It just makes it a little bit easier to find, especially right now where the ore scanner doesn't really work. So we can't really, you know, it's only really what we can see is what we're getting. But I haven't actually done any mining yet, so it hasn't made a, you know. And let me get that crash out of there just so that clears. They did have in the update, in the beta branch, is they did some work for atmospherics from Mars. I guess there were some errors with it. Obviously, there's still some more work to be done on the atmospherics because it's crashing. But oh, they did do some changes to the saves, like the format with it. I want to say it now you can edit the world type information separately from, I guess instead of, it's in an XML format basically. So instead of having to go into the save itself, there's a kind of like a world settings XML now. And that's, oh shoot. Oh, well no, this works. We can tie in right here. I was just thinking we want to start in on that side, but, oh, you know what? No, that's fine. We can do it right here. Yeah, so they, so basically that's so people can make customizations to the worlds. You know, I guess you can do some tweaks. Not sure what all options are in there. I haven't opened it up and looked. Obviously, we're already running a map, so not planning on really changing it. The only thing I want to do later on is I want to turn it to Mars. You know, I'd rather, I think, play on Mars than the moon, since that'll give us an exterior atmosphere. You know, and obviously there's supposed to be like sandstorms and stuff, but who knows? Maybe they're going to make it so the moon has, you know, you know, there's no atmosphere. Maybe there's going to be higher radiation issues or something. So, but I don't know. I kind of like the idea of being on Mars. Okay, so there gives us our intake. And I don't know if there's actually anything in it or not. It's been sitting empty. There was a little bit, not much. But we can let that run. So there we go. That's we'll get that. And we need to run a cooling line, and which is going to be basically the same. We're going to run a radiator up here, and then we'll add more radiators onto this probably. I might dig out a trench right there. I don't know. I haven't decided. And then, you know, later on the plan is that we're going to block this out. This is going to be a recessed area. The sun comes up over there, you know, sets over there. So this radiator will basically be in shade all day long, which should give us, you know, basically about the best performance we're going to get out of it. Now this was the radiator loop. We can go ahead and pull this off. And we're going to rebuild it over here. If you remember, I think it was this one, the pollution tank. We're going to tie into that. I had debated on keeping it tied in and having the AC tied in so we'd get passive and active cooling. Um, but I'm not going to do that now because I realized the AC only goes down to negative 99 degrees. So that's not going to help us too much since the passive cooling will get colder than that anyway. And then basically the AC would be working to heat it. Uh, so maybe what we'll do is uh, oops, add it in as a valve. Um, oops, there we go. We'll hook a valve up where this ties in, and then that way, if we want to, like if we're dumping a ton of heat in there, say we're running the furnace like crazy or something, or they rebalance how the heat works or something, we can open that valve and then use the AC to cool if we, absolutely want to or need to. Um, and I think that would, that would be a good way to, give us kind of the option to do it, but to run on the passive most of the time. Now, I don't want to go insane on the radiator now. We don't have a ton, and we'll just kind of expand it, as we go along. Uh, the loop that was on there before seemed to be working fine. So, and we've kind of separated everything out. So I think hopefully we're going to have a lot more efficient system than what we were getting before, and should hopefully be performing quite a bit better. And we want a corner. And oh, there we go. And we're going to loop this back around. And I think this might actually fill up all the radiators, or use up all the radiators that we have right now. But I think eventually later on is we'll just keep expanding this until we fill up this whole entire wall. And I can't imagine, at least as the way the cooling is set up right now, that we would actually ever need more than that. But who knows what's, going to happen in the future. So we'll have to see. And I should probably throw some of the radiators on here so we can figure out exactly, we got probably, I think, 10, 20, 30, 40, like 50 or so. And I'll probably just extend this one out. Now, one thing I wish they would do is have it so that, I noticed some of the blocks when you place them, if you grab another one, so this one's actually lining up right now. So maybe they've either changed it or I'm just getting luck of the draw right now. But some of them, so like if you turn it, then it'll remember it when you pick up like another stack. Like the floors. The floors is a really good example of that. When you're doing the floors, as long as you're on a stack that you have in your hand, it will continue, you rotate it around or whatnot, it'll continue placing it on that. You grab another stack, and it resets it, and then you've got to return it around. Some of this stuff does that, some of this stuff doesn't, which is kind of strange, and I don't... Hey, Dark Dragon. Oh, by the way, I think I've got, I did some tweaks on the chat. It was all basically set to the default YouTube stuff. So you should actually be able to, you shouldn't have the issue with it telling you that you have to wait now. I think I turned off that. So as long as nobody starts like spamming the chat like crazy, then we should be good to go. And we're going to want to run down on here. Which luckily this is a straight, because we're going to need to, and before I do this, just because it's been a day or so, I should verify that, yeah, that's our pollution. which we can already see is at 53 degrees. I wanted to, I was kind of hoping to get the radiators up and running before, so everything would kind of cool. No, that wasn't me. That was just YouTube. But like I said, it was all the default settings. I think I've got it tweaked a little bit. So like I said, unless somebody starts like spamming a ton of stuff, basically I turned off the spam filters. Oh, did I have my jetpack on the whole time? Of course. I don't want to go too low because we haven't got the refill station for that hooked back up yet. And I guess we're just going to tie in. Oh, actually, turn. Well, sometimes we get some pretty lively conversations. I think it just depends on who's in the chat. And here we go. So I don't know. Do you guys think I should try making, you know, after we kind of get all the base stuff situated, I think I should try making a spaceship. And I want to hook a valve. I want to just hook a valve up to that. I don't think I should really, you know what? Oh, do I have, I think I have one of the pressure gauges. I've never really, yeah, we might make one real quick. I thought maybe I hadn't made one. I want to hook a valve and yeah, it is in there. That's because we dumped everything in together. So nothing's been cooled. Everything at one point was yeah. We had everything cooled, but the system was it just wasn't. It was the cooling was bogging down the whole entire filtration system. So we dumped everything into one giant tank to get it all consolidated. I ripped out the whole entire system and expanded the room and redoing it with large tanks uh, um, and then kind of redid the whole layout. So yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Did I think I just passed it. Nope, nope. I want the, oh, pipe meter. There we go. Oh, we need copper. Oh, and we can throw that in there. Yep. I don't think I had it over 1,000 degrees. Nope, no copper in there. Copper, nope. Copper, there we go. But yeah, that's why we're hooking up the radiator system and stuff now. And we'll make a pipe meter real quick. And then since this is really something we're not really going to use, I want to make sure that we don't, if we crack open the valve, I don't want to overpressurize it, basically. Which we shouldn't anytime soon, having the large tank, but it just gives us a, you know, we can immediately look at it and see. And now the only thing I don't like with this is going to be the wall right here. So we're not actually really going to be able to see this. I might have to make the base bigger. I don't know. I think because if we put, like, say, pressure gauge there. Oh, and we got to pull this up. Oh, that's what I need. Oh, I put my wrench up there. So I think what we're going to run into now yeah, I'm not sure how I like that. We might have to change that a little bit. We might, we're not going to be able to snake over that way though. Oh, though we could, what the hell? All right. Though we could, and if I get all this wire, so no, we've still got to run tubes over because we've got to connect the ACs on that side to the ACs on that side. And then we've got to make a line. So we're going to have to either run pipes below or above, since we can't. Oh yeah, yeah, that was fun. Um, yeah, maybe we'll tie the radiator in that way because then that way it gives our valve and whatnot on this side. I think we're going to do that instead. I don't like it having tied in over here because we're not going to be able to access it when the wall's in. I was kind of trying to think about, I wish we had some decorative blocks because we don't have anything really that's, decorative or shaped or whatnot. I was thinking, actually, I need to build some fire extinguishers because I've, you know, had a few fires in the base. I have some pretty bad fires in the base, but I like to think every fire that I've had is, going to be kind of like the last one. But it always seems like we end up having something else that happens. And see, so yeah, I was thinking, I was like, I should put like a fire extinguisher in each room and, maybe carry one around. Not that we have like fires constantly, but they do happen periodically. Okay, and we'll drop that off of there and change that to a T. And then that should let us, T, there we go. All right, we can tie in that way. That'll work better because now we'll have this exposed later on. Leave that there. We can throw a couple more of those in. Oh yeah, it's been there since the beginning. It's just I don't know. I haven't played it myself. I did well. Okay, when it first came out, I I tried it, but the problem is like it like initially when you spawned in, it was like, and I know they fixed this, but it was there was one crate of starting goods for everybody. So, and then I was kind of like, oh well, that's not really gonna work. Obviously they fixed that, but there is the there is like occasional sync issues and whatnot, or like permission issues that they run into from time to time. Not anything out of the extraordinary for an early access game. And really, I'm running out of inventory space. But as far as I know, I mean, I've seen quite a few people, running on servers and stuff. Seems to go pretty well. So, but I guess the thing is it's it's an early access game, so you never know what's gonna happen, especially on servers. Talk to Kelvin. Why did he? Was he saying something to me? Let me see. Oh, the valve. I thought I picked up a separate one of those. Anyway. All right. So, which it should already be equalized in the pressure, which we should see what that's at because we need to have enough in there to, where are we at? Not very high, but we're enough that it's not going to pull back through. Of course, as soon as it starts cooling, it's going to want to equalize. You might change that to a pressure regulator so that we can push through. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to pressurize it very high until we obviously start burning more stuff. And if it cools down the same, yeah, I don't know. The pressurized regulators are just so slow, though. Oh, we could put a volume pump there. No, because once we get it filled, we shouldn't have to mess with it once it completely cools down. I like the idea of maybe having a pressure regulator there. But we'll start it off like this anyway. And so how are we going to want to do that? Oh, so pollution's going to be kind of funky then. Because basically it's going to be tying back into itself. But we need to tie back into the radiator side. So we're going to need to run... How are we going to want to do this? I think we're going to change these first of all. I'll make a little change here. Since all of our pipes and whatnot are down, everything ties in on that side of the base, then we are going to change these and pull off on this side with that way, and that way we can continue on. Same thing on that one, and then that way all the pipes are moving from that side to that side, because as you can see, wow. Oh, that's right. I did hear that there is a bug with the cables. I guess when you jump up through cable, like a cable junction or something, it makes you jump really super high. Yeah, right there. You can see my jetpack's not on. So it's something like when you land on a cable. Just a little interesting bug. Okay, so yeah, we'll do the same thing here. We're going to turn this into a junction. And then these ones are fine because they're already coming off that side. So that way we can bring pipes up over that way. And we're going to need... Actually, I think we're going to put a volume pump. So we need to add a volume pump so it pulls everything in the system, which I think we'll put it right here. So it pulls it this way from all the input sides. And there we go. But we need to run a line after this valve. And I think we're going to just try to run it up this way, because we need to tie in all the ACs to the radiator system. Now the issue is that we are going to have... Oh, I actually did fill those up. Is we're going to have to cross over all these pipes. So we're going to have to run down. I think what we're going to do is we're going to run these probably on this side. We'll come out far enough to pass the wiring. And then we're going to... we've got that junction there too. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. This side, maybe we'll, oh, autosave. I think what we're going to do then is we're going to do a 90 down into the floor, and then we'll just run this all underneath the floor and back. Because otherwise we're going to, no matter which way we go, you know, my thought was to connect these, but these pipes are going to be in the way. So, because I was thinking we would just, you know, have a line up going up, kind of like we did with the power. You know, we basically had a line going up one side, a line going up the other side, and we ran across and connected them. But I don't think that's really going to work in this case. But as long as we're far enough back to avoid the wiring going down, we should be pretty good. So we'll just run these down, and then we'll come across. And I think will be good there. And we should have plenty of, we pulled out all the other piping, so it'll be interesting to see. I think we'll have enough, but, you know, you never have too much piping or wiring in this game. And I will say I'm pretty impressed that they have managed to not break any of the saves yet. And I'm hoping they'll try to, you know, obviously continue on with that. But I could definitely see it happening at some point, especially if they start adding new stuff. And, you know, I could see what happens if they add, you know, a medium. Well, no, I guess. As long as they don't lower what this kind of cable can carry. You know, if they added like a medium cable or something. Oh, that's still placed. Oh, that's funny. I thought it was just sitting there. I'm trying to pick it up, and I'm like, why can't I pick it up? Okay. So, since we have this, we might as well place it on here since we're going to need it. And where? I guess we can pull power over from that side. Yep, we're going to hook it up. Oh, right here. Oh, actually, you know what? We're going to need 2 pipes there. Because we're going to want... I think we're going to want to hook up an analyzer as well. And, of course, the power cable has to be on the other side, where that's not quite as convenient. Actually, I don't know if we need one there. It's probably faster than trying to run it through, because the filter should pull everything. So we probably don't need, probably doesn't hurt, but we probably, well, there still is a little bit in there, and that's a really long pipe, so, all right, and the ACs are running. So yeah, they're not quite pulling everything through, which is kind of strange. Huh. So yeah, maybe we do want one there. Because let me see. Yeah, all the hooked up. Yeah, all the pipes are hooked up. So that line should be, you know, feasibly, this should be completely emptied already. All right, so yeah, we will leave a volume pump there, see if that makes a difference, which it seems like it's going to. And we're going to need to pull up some of this flooring. And then hopefully after this, I can actually fill in all these spots because, for one, I'm killing my jetpack. And for 2, I keep falling. If I don't have my jetpack on, I keep falling in the holes. So it'll be nice to actually have a solid floor. All right, so now we need our drill. And hopefully once we get this all hooked up, okay, actually, we're gonna need to pull up a lot of floor. How do we want to run these? I'm thinking same thing, down, 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 and then over. And we can run, actually, we might just run these across this way. Run them across that way, and then just run these down. I think that's probably going to work fine. So that needs to be open, that needs to be open. That's all fine. No, that's, yeah, we're going to come through under here. And then we're going to come through under here. I think about either way, we're going to be running about the same distance. And then that's going to be, so now we just need to drill out. Once we pick up all the cable or sheets that we just dropped. I do wish that, I mean, they use like a gray a lot. I kind of wish they do something a little bit different with the colors, just so everything doesn't, you know, especially sometimes you drop this stuff and it blends in so much with the ground that, you know, sometimes it's like you're looking for something and then you realize, oh, there it is, you know. Well, I did not blow up the base, so it wasn't anything that exciting. All right. So, yes. I thought I just turned. All right. Trying to make sure I don't have anything left in these because I'm going to be sealing all this up soon. Okay. I think we're looking pretty good. So we should be able to run some lines. Yeah, and I will say again, I always like that they made it so that this does not destroy, the blocks. I kind of hope they will keep that. And yep, we still have mock sides underneath the base. Okay. Should. I think we got to go down a little bit farther. Should be. Oh yeah, because there should be one in the back corner right here. Hey, Seawall. Yep. Yeah, my cold was kicking my butt, so I ended up not streaming yesterday or really doing anything off camera. So yeah, we're pretty much picking right up where we left off. Huh, it's not melting in the sunlight. It should be. All right. Well, now I just dug this way, the way I did not want to dig. That's fine. We can always use access tunnels. I do hope they add some type of block that's like a... Yeah, we need decorative things. Well, I was thinking more like, for pillars and things like that. Not really, I mean, I did think about sticking like a plant in the corner of the base, but, from like, I don't know, one of the ferns or something. I should try to fill my jetpack. Thankfully, we should have this hooked up pretty soon. So, yeah, we don't really have much in there right now. Okay, so I thought it was only if it was not in direct sunlight. I thought direct sunlight still caused it to melt. I don't know. They've made so many changes to that lately that it's... I haven't kept up with it. Then again, I haven't really been mining too much oxides or whatnot. Oh, and hang on, I'm going to cough. Yeah, I think the only... Oh, well, you know what you should do is, yeah, you should have a decorative one that... I'll grab it. Yeah. They should have a decorative one that does not need all the CO2 that like the regular ones do. Because I think that's the only problem is you would have to have, you would have to keep your CO2 ratio high enough that the plant wouldn't die. Or there should be like a little terrarium. I don't know. But I would like to see like some pillars or things like that. I was kind of thinking about trying to do like some pillars between these tanks. But I don't know. And now we have, well, actually, we still could do on the other one. I was going to say where the pollution is. Now we have that line running down, but. Okay. Oh, I should have made that one a. Oh, you know what? I didn't dig the. Shoot. Well, we'll do that afterwards, I guess. I didn't dig a line. Oh, I guess we can come over. Yeah, okay, we can come over right there. Say. I forgot when I started digging this because I was going to run them this way, but we can wrap around in like a U shape. That works just as well. I just figured it would be kind of a little bit more efficient on the piping. And we're probably going to need to change that one. Yep. And luckily, since it basically all equalizes, we should be fine. And if they make a change, then we'll just make a change to the system. Oh, we need a straight. Yeah, I'm hoping, yeah, where's those corner lights that you were talking about? I would like some, I would definitely like some better lighting, or at least some lighting options. Wait. Oh yeah, that's the AC. Okay. Yeah, this one's confusing me a little bit because we have, it's the pollution tank, but it's also our coolant for our radiator system. I'm trying not to hook anything up wrong. That's it. All right. Let me see. So we're going to run to... see if we can get up on... Yep, right there. And then, of course, I'm going to put grates all over all this, which is going to be a lot... Oh, shoot. Oh, we'll clean that one up in a minute. Which is obviously going to be quite a few grates. And I went one too far. There's been some beta updates. Nothing huge. I think what did they add? I don't know if it's in the main branch or not, and this one's a couple days ago, but they added an egg carton to the fabricator, I guess to store your eggs in, and they added the baked potato recipe. Other than that, the last couple of days, they added a, well, actually, I want to say yesterday. They did some work on the atmospherics for Mars. I guess they found a bug in it. And now we're out of pipes again. Oh, almost had enough. And they did some work on the terrain generation. I guess to speed it up and to keep holes from forming in it, which should basically help keep stuff from falling through. They also, well, no, the stuff they did today was it affected world saves, and being able to edit the world settings. So basically, all the world settings are in an XML now. So basically, to let people be able to kind of customize. What is that noise? Why do I feel like something's like blowing up or something? Or suddenly venting? Oh, are these outgassing finally? What am I hearing? Yeah, so you can, I can swear I hear something like venting or something. I don't know, maybe it might be the AC's actually running. Oh no, the AC's are all turned off. Huh, maybe it's something to do with the oxides. Maybe some of them did outgas. I'm just hoping this isn't going to be one of the things where all of a sudden I turn around in 5 minutes and like half the base is on fire. Which it shouldn't be because everything's depressurized and nothing's running. Huh. Anyway, okay. I don't see anything, so I'm going to assume it's... Oh, do you think that's causing the oxides to evaporate? Maybe. Or it could be maybe because... it could be because I'm using it in the... No, because I hear it now and the jetpack's not on. Yeah, it's weird. Unless I'm getting some type of noise from the pipes. Yeah, I know, but I don't have the jetpack on. And I mean, there shouldn't, unless, I mean, we might have, I don't know, a few times, but yeah, there's no pressure. It's like it's only in this spot. It's really weird. Oh, okay, I do have, it must be, some of the oxides must be, no, nitrogen. Okay. I guess it's, I guess my jetpack residue was trapped underneath the pipe. Yeah, so that's just the atmosphere. Oh, because you know what? I think the atmospherics, we did have a crash with the atmospherics earlier, so it's probably not dissipating. Oh, that's probably why the oxides aren't melting either. Duh. Okay. Well, actually, did it completely crash? Yeah, it completely crashed because I can't turn on the welder. Uh, which is what I need to do now is weld. Um, yeah, and it also means that our pipe is not going to be cooling. Where are we at? We're at 49 minutes, so I might end this episode a little bit early. Obviously, I'm going to have to do a restart to fix that. Actually, we'll go ahead and put the radiator pipes. We'll put the rest of the pipes in. And I did hook that in a U on the other end, correct? Yes. So we've got a U there. And I might actually not... yeah, I think I'm actually gonna... I know it doesn't really matter on these. It always counts it as being the same. But I do have a tendency to like wrap it back and forth. Or to throw a T on it and make it one. I just, you know, it seems like the way it should be, even though I know technically the game doesn't care. Yeah, but we weren't, well, I can't pull up any of the tanks because they've, and I don't know, it kind of randomly crashed. Oh, you know what we did before that kind of fixed it, if I remember correctly, is, what was it? It was, no. Huh. All right. Well, I'm not going to worry about it too much right now. As long as I realize that it is from the... Oh, that's going to so bug me, too, that that ties in right there, and there's going to be a blank spot. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, if I reload it, we'll fix it. I mean, that's the... We're almost at the point where I would stop the stream anyway. You know, as I usually try to aim for an hour on each one. Though I'll come right back and do another stream. But just for if somebody watches it later on, if they don't end up with like a, you know, though I have ended up with like a couple of almost 3 hour ones. But I figured that's kind of a, you know, most people aren't going to want to watch and sit for that long probably at once. And if they do want to watch them, they can always watch, you know, they can watch a couple of them. But I guess usually I aim for an hour and I end up in about an hour and a half. It seems to be the case. And I don't think we have that many radiators. I do want to, I think this is actually going to be the first section we're going to weld so we can get this covered up. And we might have, I think there might be a few more radiators still left inside. We kind of stashed stuff all over the place when we were tearing everything apart. But yeah, I'll definitely come back and we've got to weld that floor back together. Not there. Maybe this one. Oh, oh, right there. Yeah, we had 10 more radiators. So we'll go ahead and put those on. Everywhere else has already got cooling. Oh, we do still have some more pipes to hook up too. So we could go ahead and jump on and do that real quick. And basically, we need to get the nitrogen hooked back up, first of all, because we're going to definitely run out for our, we're very low amount already as our jetpack. Okay. And then I think we'll stop the radiator there for now, and we can throw some more. We can throw the rest of these on the furnace line. Get as much cooling as we can. Later on we'll fill that up too, before it runs into the cool it as it comes off the furnace as much as we can, which is not. I don't think you get really a whole bunch from there. Doesn't seem like it, at least. But when you're pumping it out at 1200 degrees, probably does get a bit of it off. And of course, here's me just being overly fussy with the radiators, because you don't really need to do that, but I like to make it kind of look like it would. So we should now be able to, let's see, there's our waste pipe. So it's all going to be equalized. Do we have that closed or open right now? We have that closed. So we should, let's see what we're getting out of that. Which it's going to be, so it should be circulating now. And then the only thing it's not going to let us read is what the actual, which is probably not going to work because the atmospherics is broken. I don't know. I don't know if the atmospherics ties into the radiators or not. I mean, technically it's moving, it would be moving a gas, but it's also, it's a thermal thing. So that's going to be kind of interesting. I guess when I'll load up as soon as I see. I'm assuming it's not, because I'm not seeing the temperature fluctuate at all. No, actually, how about if I hit start? Bet that would probably make a difference. Which I'm going to assume, I don't know. We'll let it run for a little bit and see if it drops. So let's see. So that's hooked up. 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 And then that ties into our radiator system. So, and our radiator system should, actually, if our atmospherics is cooling this, I mean, it should be cooling, but it's all still at the same temperature. So I'm assuming that that does tie into the atmosphere. Oh, no. I'm going to end up getting stuck in the floor. I know it. So nitrogen line needs to run over to this tank right here. And so maybe we could run. Oh, actually, that's not too bad because we've got these here, so we could run these down and then across on the floor. Yeah. Well, yeah, I know. I just wasn't sure if the radiators counted as atmospheric or not, but it would make sense because obviously they're going to tie into the atmospherics to radiate the heat, even though sometimes it's no atmospherics. No, I didn't want to do that. All right, so this should be the water. I believe we stuck water in that one, so that should tie right into that pipe, and then that'll run to the greenhouse. Oxygen, nitrogen will come down in that 2 blocks and run across to the floor. Ugh. Nitrogen we can run across on the floor because we can come over here. We don't have to cross over anything. What do we got? I think, did I put oxygen there? Yes, oxygen's right there. I didn't mean to turn that on. Jet. Yes, yes, yes. And maybe, yeah, so the oxygen we can come down. We'll obviously try to keep it tidy, but we can bring the nitrogen over there. The oxygen we can bring down in front of it, over here, behind it, over here, and then it can run down and it can tie into the oxygen right there. And then that'll let us tie into, that's the oxygen for the furnace. So that can come off and tie in over here as well when it runs by. So that should work pretty good. Yeah, we definitely get those. And yeah, this is where we're going to use all that piping that we've got. Let me see, and I want to make sure I don't, this does not, yeah, that we don't want that to get in the way. And that'll be good. This will be, we get the oxygen, the hydrogen, we still got to get connected up. We should still have enough in the line because there's a pressure regulator over there. So most of the oxygen should, well, not most of the oxygen, but most of the hydrogen should already be in that line because it's keeping that line pressurized for the oh, I didn't change that one, for the gas generator in case it needs to run. And there we go. Yeah, this is where we're going to run through a ton of piping. Luckily, we have all that piping we pulled up. I'm assuming we're probably going to end up using more than what we originally pulled up. And I get some of this stuff out of here. I want to keep the steel plates because we are going to be welding. Oh, autosave. We are going to be welding really soon. And then I got to figure out what we're going to do because at some point I'm going to have to go on a big mining run, I think. And smelt up some resources because we're definitely going to need steel. Oh, shoot. I should have actually ran that. Maybe one over. Now we're going to have to put a funky little jog in there to get around the nitrogen line. Oh, actually, we just do this. I know. It doesn't really matter, but it's a looks thing. Even though it's going to be covered in grating and we're never really going to see it, I will know it's there. Okay. All right, so that hooks the furnace back up. Very nice. That's the hydrogen line to the furnace. That line can be completely pulled up. No, crowbar. And yep, so that one we can get rid of. Hey, look, there's a piece of flooring. I do wish they'd make it so they would stop clipping through stuff like that. And I gotta make sure that these stay straight pipes. I'm pretty sure that there's nothing else tying into this. So I don't think any of these are T. Yeah, those are all straights. Okay. And now we just get to run. And now would probably be a good time when we actually have all this up to do some painting on it. And we need to run back to there and there. And get, and then hopefully we should be able to get the base pressurized and get the greenhouse up and running again. And then we'll be back on the logic circuits. Okay, so there's oxygen, nitrogen, we're good there. And didn't I throw some, I think I may have thrown some colored pipes in the, one of the chests. Yeah, I think I'm finally gonna go through and start coloring all the pipes. I mean, you know, generally I know what they are, but sometimes, especially there with the oxygen and the return line, that is one thing we still got to revamp. We've got to go through and revamp that and get the. Yeah, I might alternate, you know, add a spot like every 3 or 4 or something, or you know, maybe one at the center of each block or something. I mean, though it is just iron, so I could just make a ton of spray paint. I mean, oh, no, 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 no. Because I know what's going to happen is I'm going to fall in there at one point, and my jetpack's going to run out, and I'm not going to be able to get back out. But that's all right. Oh, the colored stripes. Oh, we actually need that one. Yeah, that is an option. I was thinking about throwing some labels on them too. And because we do have. All right. So nitrogen before we do the final hookup. Yes, so nitrogen is there. And then hopefully we should be pressurizing our. Getting our jetpack refill going again. Okay, that. Oh, let's turn it back on too. If it's got. Yep, it still does have power. And 27.9. We should. Oh, no pressure. Why do you have no pressure? Oh, okay. Nope, that is there. Oh, hey. I might need some corners there. Just saying. That might make it work just a little bit better. Okay. Now, Yay, nitrogen. All right. And that's still taking forever. That should still be filling. Oh, yeah, gases are broken. Duh, gases are broken. Okay. Oh, that's funny that the even though the atmospherics is broken, the pipe still did equalize the pressure. It just won't actually transfer it into anything. Ah, those crazy early access bugs. All right, this is CO2. That's going to be interesting. We've got to get that down there. I think we might have to dig a channel down for that one. Unless it comes from the greenhouse, so it runs out this way. So we might be able to run back behind. Because that's our nitrogen, oxygen, pollution. I believe we've got water. CO2 and hydrogen. Hydrogen and CO2 are one of those. So we should potentially be able to run out back and tie in. And water is obviously right there. So we're just going to come down and tie in. So make sure this is... Oh, no, this is the CO2. Oh, well, shoot. I should have made that one water instead. I think I did make it the CO2 because that was right there. So we can basically just come up through the floor and tie her in. That was an easy one. So this is the water. All right. So we'll just bend a 90 right there. Come over, come down, and then tie in. And then that's going to be the socks because that's the hydrogen. So it needs to come all the way up to the front and tie into this line, which maybe we got cabling there, so we can't run it there. We could probably, if we bury that in the wall, we could run it across the back of this wall right here. That would work because we have nothing else in the way. Oh, yeah. Yep, junctions would be a good spot. Yeah, or any like corners or something. And, all right, so that will do that up pretty good. So we can tie our CO2 in. We might as well do that real quick. Yeah, because I won't even need to... we can just bend it right there. Oh, and of course this is going to be iron. Yeah, I definitely make another base. I am not going to do a mix of iron and steel on the floor again. It seemed like a good idea, but as I've expanded the bases, that's just been a pain. All right, so... Yep, there we go. Oh, perfect. All right. And then we could actually go ahead and repressurize the greenhouse. Actually, no, we don't want to repressurize the greenhouse. We want to turn on the AC so it cools this. And we're going to need to rehook that circuit up to these. Really? Because what are we at for temperature on this? Yeah, 59. Yeah, because it's equalized all the temperature from when we ran the furnace. So we're going to want to let that cool in before we dump it into the greenhouse. So we don't have such extreme temperatures. And just to verify that we didn't miss a connection. Oh, well, look at that. Oh, that sucks. Now it's all contaminated. Actually, the tank's still at 100%. That's all right. We can always... Oh, that is a good idea, too, now that I think about it. So what do you think about adding a, let's see, where would we want to do it at? We could do it on each one, really. And my jetpack's completely dead. So now I got to try to climb, jump out somehow. Um, so between those, we could add a T. Yeah, I know, but I can't do that until I restart because I can't weld. Um, which I might. I still want to crouch. And they should make something so that you can't, get stuck in the floor. I mean, I can weld and it'll push me up through, but that is kind of annoying that, if you fall down into something like this and you don't have a jetpack, you're basically dead. Um, I mean, honestly, I could maybe do something like that, but then you end up hitting on this and it gets kind of weird. Um, it'd be nice if you could, I don't know, it'd be kind of like a Mario jump, but if you could jump to at least one block high. Oh, well, now you say that. Yes, I could have actually put grading down and it would have been good. Obviously, I can, oh, actually, or I can just do something like this. Is it really? Thank you for telling me that. All right. Anyway, um, no, we don't want to do that. We actually want to come over here and do this, though. Especially since, well, it doesn't really matter since it's a CO2 tank, or it's going where the waste paint tank goes. And is this... Well, it actually won't read above, but I'm not sure if that's actually running or not. I think that circuit might be unpowered. But, yeah, obviously it's not going to fill anything up, but that's better than not having anything in there at all. Yes. Um, yeah, so no, my thought was, and I'll do it over here so I don't fall in. So instead of this being a T, we'll make this a four-way. We can run a pipe up because there shouldn't be any junctions, I believe, in any front of those in any of these setups. We can run this up this way, tight back into our intake line, and then oh, look at that. There's a weird, I don't know if it's a shadow or if that's a weird thing on the texture. No, it's on the texture. Yep. Anyway, we can run that up, and we'll leave a shutoff. We'll put a shutoff valve on it, and then that way, if we accidentally contaminate a tank, we can just open up the valve, let the system pull it in, um, and it'll rerun it and filter it through. So that's a good way because like we can do that here and tie it in. So we'll basically just have another pipe running pretty much parallel to each of these that ties back in, and then we can recirculate it back through if we need to. This one, the CO2, it must have pumped in from the greenhouse. So the CO2 line has a bit of a mixture of pretty much everything in it. I'm assuming that's probably when I connected all the systems together. I think everything else, I already had the pipes disconnected, but the greenhouse I don't think was disconnected. So, but we can just hook it in, and then it'll filter it out to its respective systems. And I kind of like that because it'll give us an easy way to do it without having to rig up something or purge, the base. I do, but then where we'd have to run it through, and it's gonna pump all the CO2 in, but then it's gonna try to equalize. So it pumps in, and then it tries to filter back out, because it's just meant to keep the ratio. It's in here. And it's just meant to keep the pressure from getting too high, and to keep the um, so what it does is it outputs CO2 here from the CO2 system, and then anytime we run the greenhouse, or not the greenhouse, anytime we run the airlock, this dumps it back into the line, and oop, I almost fell in the hole. And there's a vent here. Well, actually, the vent's there now. We moved it. So that ties in, comes over, ties down, and there's a filtration through there that's only filtering CO2. So it dumps CO2 back into the CO2 system, and anything else goes into the waste line to be filtered. So that's a little bit kind of a more cumbersome way to do it, because it's going to be filtering and dumping CO2 back in. So it takes it forever to, like, actually get it purified, because it's not really meant to purify the system. It's just meant to, capture the O2 and any pollution in the greenhouse so that it can go to its respective tanks. Um, but I do kind of like that idea because, every now and then we hook up the wrong pipe to something, or, so it'll give us a way to, we can basically just open up the valve, and so we could actually put a pipe analyzer on these behind here, and we could read the ratio, and if the ratio is not at 100%, we could open up this digital valve and let it pump out. I mean, we're going to kind of run into the same thing because it's going to pump out, it's going to pump in. So maybe we'd want two. So what we'd want is a digital valve here, a digital valve here. It can purge. No, because the filters will pull. So what we could do is we could put it here, and then there's a volume pump up here, which is on the other side of the line. So maybe, well, we can't do a volume pump going this way. So what we could do is we could shut this valve, have this one open, let the volume pump run here. It's going to back feed into this. We would have this tank for it to collect everything up to. And then once the pipe analyzer detects that this tank is empty, then it would shut this valve and reopen this valve, and then it would let it basically refilter everything back through and store it back in the tank. And then we wouldn't have to do it. It would just be automated. But honestly, as little times as we contaminate it, it's, I don't know if it's really worth it to automate it. But, if we run out of things to do, it's definitely something we can do. We're just going to have to set up a pipe analyzer for every single one, and then set up. They can probably be tied into the same. No, because we wouldn't want to run it on a batch, because otherwise it's going to run it the whole thing. Yeah, we probably will, but that's something we can, we'll throw a manual valve in for now. We can manually do it, and then later on we can, expand the system by doing the logic, automating it. So we don't, keep the whole base shut down. I know. I do automate, but I like to get the bare bones system up and running, and then we go back through and do the automation. And that gives us a chance to let it run, make sure that there's no. Oh, that's weird. That's the wrong pipe. To make sure that there's no, like, bug in the system. Oh, that shouldn't be a junction. That should be a T. Ah, there we go. Beautiful. Okay. Yeah. So that's the plan for down the road on that then, is we can do that. But we've got a few other systems. I mean, I want to get the greenhouse system up and running. And yeah. So oh, is that floating AC bothering anybody yet? Oh yeah, we got an oxygen line. Oh, what is that? Oh, that runs to the suit station. Yeah, we've got to tie in and we got to bring that oxygen. Oh, that's gonna kind of suck. Uh, and that's the waistline as well. So we can change. Oh, yeah, we can change that now. We can run the oxygen line over that way, and that will, that'll work for that. Um, ow, ow. And yeah, so what we'll do is we'll bring that oxygen line down and tie it in back over here, which is going to be kind of a pain because there's quite a few pipes running through there. Well, it won't be impossible, but it's not going to be probably the easiest choice. Well, it's not as bad. We did pull a line or two out of there, so it's not as bad as it used to be. Okay, there's the oxygen system tanked up, so at least we have our oxygen. Oh, we'll turn that back on too. So that should give us our oxygen tank running again. 100% oxygen, very nice. There's no contamination. Okay. Yep. So we'll pull that up, but we'll get everything else hooked back up, and then we can come through, pull those lines down, and rerun those pipes. Now this pipe needs to go all the way over to there. So I think that one we're just going to come up, run across the ceiling, and tie in over there. Oh, actually, no, maybe we won't. Oh, wait a minute. There's a hydrogen line. Oh, no, because the generator ties in off of that. Yeah. Because that's not the floor. That's for here. See? Ceiling on this side. Yeah. So, yes, it's technically face down up here, but really that's the ceiling. That's why I actually kept that little post there, plus to block off this end. All right. So, I am going to go ahead and save here. We're going to call this the end of the episode. I'm going to take a 5-10 minute break, and then I will come back with the next episode. I'm going to do a restart, obviously, in between, fix that atmospheric bug, and see if there's any updates on the beta branch. Wow, the autosave went a lot faster. Wonder if that has to do with the world changes they made. All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Like I said, I'll be back in about 10 minutes, and we'll pick up basically right where we left off, except with working atmospherics. Okay. We'll see you guys then.